Shorter celebrity interviews.
How did you start with acting?
I started doing school plays when I was a kid.
Okay.
And then I started choreographing my own dance shows. And then I started going back and forth to Los Angeles. That's where the acting industry was, like the movie industry. And then I simply went to live in Los Angeles when I was around 18 or 19 or something. For 2 years, where I studied at an acting institute, which was probably the best acting school at that time, called Lee Strasberg. Lee Strasberg is a major influence on modern, well, not modern, actually. It's a kind of old-fashioned acting, but it's being used by every actor almost. It's called method acting by Stanislavski. So I studied that for 2 years. So that's kind of how it all built up and started.
Okay. So you've also worked with Nicolas Cage. Tell me how that happened.
I had, amongst other people, a manager in Los Angeles, and there was this part. I auditioned for a part in the movie called Drive Angry, which is in 3D, and I auditioned for a part called Candy, and I did a really good audition, and we got really good feedback, but there was another girl who got the part because my look did not fit the part. They wanted somebody very blonde, very American looking, very Southern looking, which is completely the opposite of what I look like, so there was nothing I could do about that. But then, because my audition was quite good, the director, told my manager that he wanted to put me in the movie anyway because they were creating another part of a character called Leopard Lady. And Leopard Lady was then me, which basically is a really fucked up addict, kind of like, I don't know what you can say, addict to all kinds of drugs and alcohol, and she had veins on her arms and was stuck around her eyes and really no makeup, really ugly, as unattractive as you can get. They put on a kind of a wig with bangs and mixed it in my own hair and made me all look greasy and disgusting. And so that was my part opposite Nicolas Cage, actually trying to kill him through the whole movie with this other 4 or 5 characters who were a group that were hunting him down. So that's how I met him. He was really a nice guy. A very different kind of a person, but really nice. We had good laughs, we had fun, and it was really fantastic. I was almost working for a full month on that movie. Well, we'll see how much they edited out of the movie because they had to edit it down in time, so I don't know how much is left. But I know I'm in the movie, so that's good.
Okay. So what makes a good actress?
Studying, doing your homework, preparing, living it, life experiences, dedication, passion. Do you want more, Nita?
It's okay.
Okay.
What's your advice for people with dreams?
With dreams?
Yes.
Are they prepared for ultimate rejection day upon day, year upon year? And can they still keep on going? Are they prepared to sacrifice everything they know in their life to come over here and pursue the unknown, and they do not know the result? Are they prepared to take the jump? Do they want it enough? Will they give their life for it? There's a lot of things I would say that they need to think about.
And what's your advice for people that has low confidence?
No confidence?
Yeah.
What's my advice to people that have no confidence? It's a really, really good question. I mean, number one, they have to start building the confidence. And I think the way you build confidence is, first of all, you feel the need to surround yourself with positive people that don't drag you down, people that back you up, that tell you you're good, that you can do it, positivity, and stay away from negativity, and then look upon all the good and all the good things within themselves that they feel are good, and not always focusing on what they can't do, what they don't feel they can do with the negative. Trying to eliminate the negative and building upon the positive. I think that's how you gain confidence. Believing in yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. And what's your future plans?
To live, eat, and die. My future plans are going through Christmas and New Year's, starting the year out with hopefully doing a season 3 of The Hollywood Wife. But at the same time, I have at least 3 new feature film projects in which I have parts, which are theatrical releases that are going to come out in the movie theater. I have 3 scripts lying on my table that we're going to start next year out with. Future plans to become a well-known actress, like, how do I say that? Hur säger man anakin in English?
Excuse me.
Say that in Swedish even.
What?
Om man säger så här, man vill gärna vara en anakin. Så man får titta på en, vad säger de? Hon är verkligen bra som en actress.
I got that.
I need that word. Like, I want to be someone to be counted on, like a prominent actress. I want to be known for my talent.
Yeah, okay.
It's really important to me. Was that the question? No, I totally forgot the question.
You're talented.
Thanks. Well,
how do you spend a day?
Okay. I normally get up at 8. First thing I do is I turn on the computer. I connect all my phones because I always unplug them when I sleep so I can get peace. I feed my cats and I'm on the computer. And then normally I'm working either on a series, on a movie, and if I'm not working, I mean, this is how being an actor, you either are not on set or you're on set. So my days when I'm on set, I'm somewhere on location. I'm always like on location somewhere. And then my days are completely different. Then it's up in the morning at 5, being picked up like at 5, like 6 o'clock in the morning, being in makeup from 6 to 8, starting shooting at 8, done at 6 o'clock at night. That's a whole different story. But if you're asking about my day when I'm not shooting, is that because those are two, I mean, those are the only kind of days I have when I'm working and when I'm not working. It's like really, there's really nothing in between. So how do I answer? So if I'm not working, do you want to know that?
Yeah.
Because now I just told you how it is when I'm working. Okay, so as I said, up at 8, turn on the computer, feed my 2 cats, on the computer, seeing what my agent mailed me. I have a publicist and an event coordinator, which after the new year I'll probably have like a couple of events per week with big stars, and then I have my publicist, which is going to be red carpet events. So I'll have to figure out, like, who's going to pull my clothes for me, the stylist is going to dress me, who's going to make sure that I can wear clothes. Like, if people ask me what am I wearing, which I'll do next year, because of my movies that are coming out, I have to be able to say the designer, which I really hope I can remember the name.
Yeah.
I'm so not into that. And that will be what I do, getting prepared for what I have to do later on that day. If I have an audition, it's mostly kind of the serious things, like either for a series, like, or it's normally always something where I have to prepare for that for hours. I mean, I prepare for hours, and I use a method called Ivana Chopak. Ivana Chopok is the acting mogul here, and I use her method mixed with a little bit of method acting Stanislavski, so I would do that. I mean, I do probably 1,000 things in a day. I don't even know how to tell you. Oh, then I hit the gym, definitely in the morning, like when I've been on my computer for like at least an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours. It's a very important thing for me, otherwise I can't deal with this business because this business is very frustrating.
Yeah.
And then it's back home, on the phones with people. What's new? Do I get the script? I go up to a movie place called New Image. They produce 25 movies a year. I get a lot of parts in their movies because I built, through the past 10 years, a relationship with them, and they know that I'm able to act like various kinds of parts, really. And so my day is really, there's a lot generally in my day. And then my day ends up with me probably having to go to an event. And I go, I'm there, I get home, and I'm home at 10, and I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Sounds so busy.
Generally, I'm really, really busy, which is why right now I feel really awkward because I'm not really busy right now because it's Christmas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, what am I going to do? Because I kind of figured, I found out, I think I'm a workaholic a little bit.
So, what are you going to do for Christmas and New Year's Eve?
I am going to probably be with some really, really good friends of mine on Christmas Eve. New Year's Eve, I haven't planned because I don't really know what I want to do. I have parties to go to. I don't know if I feel like going to a party this year. So I'm not sure what I'm doing New Year's Eve. I'm kind of keeping it open. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. Sometimes I get this intuition about, I don't know what I want to do. I have invitations. I don't know if I want to go.
Yeah.
But now you know.
So who inspires you?
My dad is one of my biggest inspirations. He's not here anymore. I don't want to talk about it because it is the most painful thing I've ever gone through and I ever will go through. He's my biggest inspiration. Who other people have, every single brilliant, amazing actor that I've watched since I was a kid in the movies have inspired me. Every single book that's brilliant that I've read have inspired me.
I understand. And what's your next project?
My next project?
If you want to tell me.
Well, I can't, but I can tell you something.
Yeah.
It's a very famous actor in Hollywood. He's a good-looking guy. And I have a part in this movie. And that's my next project. And after that, I have another one. And after that, I have another one.
Okay, that sounds good.
But I'm not saying anything until I sign the contract. It's something my mom taught me.
Yeah.
Do not jinx. I don't know if there's such a thing as jinx. Maybe we should just not think about that. But I have to sign the contract first.
All right.
I know you get that, right?
Yeah. And what's the positive and negative about being a celebrity?
It's a good question. It's funny because the girl that I made a decision to do a season 2 of The Hollywood Wives with her because I thought season 2 needed a new twist that had something else had to be done because, as you can see, the Danish people are not following the Norwegian and Swedish concept of Hollywood Wives, which I wish they would do because I like the concept, which, they have the Beverly Hills, they have the Orange County, they have the New York, they have the DC. There's a concept behind it, but for some reason Denmark is not really following that concept. So, what was the question again? I'm sorry.
It was what's the positive and negative about being a celebrity?
Yeah, so doing like the Hollywood Wife thing now with Lisa, she got to go back to Denmark, and she said it was insane. She was like a huge star back there, blah, 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 blah. I'm sitting over here in Los Angeles. So you're asking me about this, and I don't really feel it, except that I have like 80 new friends, Facebook friends each and every day, that, want to be friends with me, which, of course, is wonderful, and I have to write all these things to them and back, because in Hollywood, there's still a couple of steps before a I mean, I need to be photographed more in the magazines and stuff, and then I can really answer you what it's like over here. People do recognize me. The good part is that it's a lot of positive. You get the makeup artist, you get the clothes, you get people smoozing up to you, which is great. You get people wanting to give you free stuff. You get people wanting to invite you and be with you. There's a lot of positive, but there's also the negative of everyone who does that have their own reasons and their own games. They don't do it just because you're a nice person. You have to know how to play the game. The negative is when you really, really make it, which I really, really intend to do, the private life may not really be there as it used to be, and you have to be prepared for not having a private life. So that's the negative. Definitely, you're sacrificing a part of your private life because they're always on you. But I think there's so much positive, especially if you make the money. Think about what you can do with that money for the world. You can give it to animal charities, to little kids. You can do so much good, which a lot of the big movie stars are doing. That's probably the best part about it, how you're able to help. And that's a really good part. I know I talk a lot, Nina, right?
No, it's okay. It's all right.
Got through this.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
And which celebrities have you been working with?
Which who?
Celebrities have you been working with?
Back in the day, I worked with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I worked with Steven Seagal. I worked with Tom Sizemore. I worked with Michael Shanks, who is on that sci-fi Stargate SG-1. I work with a German actress who's very famous in Germany called Alexandra Kamp. Very nice woman. I worked with, I have to look at my resume to remember all the people I worked with. Worked with Michael Douglas. Worked with Nicolas Cage. I just had a small part in another movie I just shot, who was directed by Joel Schumacher, who's one of the most famous directors in Hollywood. She's like a legend. Him and I just had a great chemistry together. I think he's like 60-something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was a movie with Nicole Kidman and Nicolas Cage. So I've done 2 movies with Cage, but that was just a small part. So then I worked with Stephen Dorff. Who else was in? I worked with Rosanna Kett. Sex Addict was Ticker, Dennis Hopper, the Cutter Chuck Norris, Jay Dyson, Agatha Griffin. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah. So is that good enough?
Yeah, it's okay. It's alright. And you've always been in the Hollywood housewives. Tell me how it all started.
It all started because a really, really, really nice girl who is Swedish, who is one of my friends, Sophia, knew that they were going to do a Danish Hollywood wife. And she knew me through a mutual friend, and she thought I had the personality to be in the show. And so she suggested me. It was actually because of her.
Okay.
And she's from Sweden. Great girl.
All right. And have you ever felt to give up?
Give up what, Nina?
You know, give up like.
Acting? Or Hollywood wife.
But when you have dreams, sometimes you feel like it's enough. I can't take it anymore. And
yeah, of course, we all feel that way. Yeah, sometimes I feel people around me support me. Like, I always help other people. You don't get the same back. You have to get used to not getting back when you give. It's just something in the universe. You just can't expect to get back. So sometimes we all get depressed. I mean, I'll get depressed sometimes. I don't feel, is it really worth it? It's more like, am I doing good enough? Like, can I do more? What else can I do? because I'm so wanting to reach my goal. So sometimes I just get down on myself if I don't feel I'm doing good enough, and I just feel everyone is not nice to me. And you can get that self-pity thing. We all get that.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
I get that. But it's not that I want to give up. It's just like, what am I doing here? On this planet anyway.
And this
like that. More like spiritual question. What am I doing on this planet?
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be a reason. If I can be this big actress and if I can make all this money, which I intend to, there's got to be a reason. I have to be able to help something on the planet. So my thing is, I want to help animals. I've written down 10 things what I want to do with animals, like the World Wild Fund and endangered species and testing and slaughterhouses. There's a lot of things that I want to go in and really can't handle how they treat these poor creatures because I love animals. So there's a whole bigger thing. When I think about that, I get depressed too because I don't understand how people can treat. I get depressed a lot about how people on this planet are.
Yeah.
That's really the biggest thing. I do not understand how they spiritually can be so uninvolved, to treat each other so shitty, and to treat what can't defend themselves, like little children, babies, and animals, like that. That's a downer for me. That was a really long answer to that question, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's okay.
When you have to go through it and edit it.
But you're smart. That's the way everybody should think. You know.
Well,
yeah.
I think that's the truth.
Of course. And this is the last question. How would you describe yourself as a person?
Very giving. Very spiritual. Intelligent. I don't want to okay, how else do let me see. Sometimes I feel I am I get irritated with myself because I let my emotions take over when I don't feel I'm being treated right instead of staying cool. It's something I don't like about myself. You like that too, because it's not all good. What you think, how do you see yourself? Well, I see myself as I would like to become better in order to control myself, not to just react to a situation, but to be able to get a hold of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And, people say negative things too about themselves when you ask this question.
Excuse me, what?
Do they say negative things about themselves too? You say, your question was, how do you describe yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it happens.
Yeah, because, how do I say this? I describe myself, I get too involved sometimes with other people wanting to, I can't take things that are unfair. I cannot handle when people are being unfair.
Yeah.
And I wish that I could just let go and not really care. So I see myself, I wish that I could just let go and not really care when things are unfair. But I react very, very strongly towards it, which is kind of annoying that I can't control that.
Yeah, I feel you.
You know what I mean? It's like, why can't I do that?
Yeah.
But, yeah, those are the things I want to say.
Okay. So, do you want to say anything to the people here in Sweden or to my readers?
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think they want to hear? In what category do you think they want to hear something?
Oh, I don't know.
You think that I should say to people that really, because we already went over it, my advice to people is they have the stream of acting.
Yeah.
What do most people interview say? So I'm not totally off the track.
No, they can just say hi or have a great weekend, something like that, or believe in yourself. That kind of stuff.
Okay. That's actually a good one. I want to say, of course, thank you for wanting to interview me.
My pleasure.
The opportunity. No, seriously, I mean it. And I want to say to the people in Sweden that I think Sweden is a little bit like Denmark. What do you call that law? We call it janteloven, when people always look at people and criticize them, and instead of looking at themselves, they look at other people and criticize them, and you can't do this and you can't do that. What do you call that in Swedish?
I know what you mean, but I don't know.
I want to say stay away from that society created like thing.
Yeah.
You know, I want to say screw that. Dare to be yourself on every level, as long as you're not totally unreasonable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dare to be yourself. Do not care about what other people think about you, because they need to look upon themselves instead of looking upon you in order to become better people. That's the whole circle. That's the whole trick. Why are they so busy looking at you when they should be looking at themselves? So if you are the way you are as a person, I'm talking to Sweden now, and anybody has a problem with it, it's not your problem, it's their problem.
Yeah, you're right.
Dare to be who you are. It's the biggest thing with me. Dare to be who you are. Absolutely.
Okay. And I want to say...
that law that I hate.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called in Sweden, it's called janteloven in Denmark. I hate it.
I know, I feel you. It's so annoying.
Yeah, and that's my message.
Yeah. I want to say thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And it was a pleasure to do this interview with you.
Shorter celebrity interviews.